Hey folks, and welcome back to the mountain. I'm Tony from Gagnon's Mountain Homestead. As you know, we love our tractor. It does a lot for us here in the homestead. You've seen me do logs on the forks, but what we're going to do now, we have a grapple coming in. So we'll be able to like reach down, pick things up, logs and brush and all kinds of cool stuff. But before we put the grapple on, we got to do what's called a third function valve. So let me explain how that's going to work. So right now we have two functions on our front end loader. It goes up and down and the bucket curls up and down. I need to add a third function for the hydraulics so that I can open and close the grapple. So today what we're going to do, we're going to install that third function valve into our tractor here. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do that right now. Well, we had a little issue when we moved the tractor. You can see all this wet. This line right here sprung a leak, this heater hose. So I went and got a replacement piece of heater hose out of the garage and we swapped that out real quick. So now we can get going on the third function valve. Laid out on the ground here are all the pieces parts that come with the third function valve. So these two lines here are what are going to run from the valve, which will be on the other side of the tractor, to right here, which is where the grapple will plug into. These two lines here are going to run to the valve box I have now, and then that valve right there will go between the two lines. I have a brand new handle for the lever for the bucket, which will have a rocker switch right here to open and close the grapple, and along with, I also have a power line with a fuse in it for when I run power to the solenoids. So what we have to do first is we have to take the seat off the tractor to get to the valve. Let's get started. So in order to get the seat off, as you can see, there's the seat. I'm going to take the frame it mounts to as well. And I got two bolts here. And I don't know if you can see them, but back there, right around there, there's a nut there and one on the other side. So we're going to go ahead and take them off now. So those rear nuts are right here. So we got those off. We got the front bolts out. Now we just lift the seat off. We'll lift it off and set it aside. It does have a little bit of weight to it. Now we can take a look at our valves. And our valve we're looking at is right over here, right there. So we'll go around the other side and take a peek. Now that the seat's off, we have to take this metal pipe right here off. It goes under the seat and then it goes to the power bypass on the hydraulic valve. So that's going to be right there. I don't know if you can see me fingy down there. Let's try again. Right there. So that right there. Those are both 19 millimeter. I've already loosened this one up. That just unscrews. Now the other one we have to put a wrench on. Luckily I do have a 19 millimeter wrench. And we're going to set that on there. I'm trying to do this one-handed. Alright, it's a little tight in there, but it will come off. So we already loosened that bolt. Now when you loosen the one down there, you are going to lose a little bit of fluid. Now the bolt's going to come out with it, and the whole pipe just kind of pulls out like that, and there you go. Alright, now according to our instructions, we are to install the 9-degree fitting in the kit to the power beyond port on the loader valve. So we'll do that now. Alright, so we got the straight one on there, and the 90 is on that one down in there, if you can see that. I did have to loosen up the pipe below it. I had to loosen that up there and then underneath to kind of pull it down a little bit in order to get the 90 on. The kit comes with two 90s. It comes with this one here and then one that has a jam nut like this. So I used the one that has the jam nut. I screwed it in and then I tightened up the jam nut, and it's angled a little bit down. I guess I can change that after if I need to, but it's angled a little bit down. And now we're going to go ahead and put the hoses on. Now the instructions are clear. There are two hoses, one's 58 and one's 52. The shorter one connects to the power beyond port on the loader valve on the 90, and the longer one connects up here. So let's go ahead and get those. What I'm doing, I'm just running it down towards the front of the tractor, right through there. And then we can put it on right there. I gotta ground the other side. I'm gonna reroute that a little bit. I want it under the electrical. I just don't want things wrapped around. So we'll run it under the electrical lines and down with the other hoses like that. And it'll come right onto here. Okay. All right, we got our thread started. We'll tighten that up. All right, that should be good like that. Now we'll do the next one. Okay, you can see where the other hose is right there on that 90 we installed. And I ran that one by the valve box and underneath. So both of them are coming down underneath here. You can see where they come down, sort of. That's the one that goes under the seat. And then the other one is right here. And I'll move him to go along with that one. All right, both those lines are coming down there. They'll run with the lines of the tractor to here. So the next thing we got to do is we're going to mount our valve body right here. What you do, you get these two bolts here that are holding in this. You loosen those up, and then this mounts there. So let's go ahead and do that. Now we'll just take them all the way out, I guess. It's going to be a pain about it. Okay, there's that one. Put that bolt in there. All right, there's those two. Put the nuts and washers back on. Okay, now these hoses will screw into here. But we got to figure out which one goes to which valve. Okay, the one in the back is marked P, and the one in front is marked T. So, according to our instructions, using the shorter hose, connect one end to the power beyond port on the loader valve and the other end to the P. So, the shorter one is which one? I don't know. We got to figure it out. No, they're not. All right, this is the shorter one. So this goes to the P. That goes to that one. This is the longer one. And that goes to the T, which is that one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dress up those hoses, and then I'll tighten that up. All right, that didn't take long. I got my hoses all dressed in. I didn't put them in the sleeve with these. I just kind of ran it over. I cut off the original tie wraps and put these white ones on and ran it here. So now my cables are clear in the tire. Here's my new cables. I'm going to tighten these up now, and then we'll work on getting the cables going to the front of the tractor, and we'll work on the wiring. So the next thing we do is these two hoses with this mounting bracket are going to mount right here to these screws. So I'm going to take out this screw, and we're going to put that bracket on. So we'll show you that part now. And there's my dogs. There's one. Two. Look at my shoe. Ooh. Metal splinter. Mmm.
That ain't good.
Get my iron.
You want them down or up?
Down. I kind of have to have them down. There's not enough hose to have them up.
Oh.
All right, so we're going to put one screw back in. Maybe. Hey, you know what I'm thinking? That might be why there's longer screws in the bag. I bet you that's what these screw bolts are for. So look at that, folks. The kit even comes with new bolts. New longer bolts. With a lock and a flat. And a lock and a flat. Look at that. Are they the same size? Yes, they're even the same size. Now we'll tighten those two up.
You want them fittings down?
I want them just the way they are.
Okay.
There's not enough hose to do it the other way.
Okay.
Because if I turn it around, the hose has to loop. There's none. So, since they don't send enough hose to do that, I'm assuming this is the way it's supposed to be. So that's that. Now we will run these hoses back to the valve body. What I'm going to do, I'm going to connect them up here, and then I'll dress them in. And it's pretty simple here, because you got two different types of connectors there. So they only go one way there. So that one goes there, like that. And this one goes over there, like that. And now we can run our cables. Not cables, hoses. Well, if you can. Ooh, there we go. So all we're going to do, I think we're just going to get a couple tie wraps and put them onto these cables here. And then we'll tie wrap them over there. So we'll show you that in a moment. I got my lines tie wrapped in. Everything's dressed in nicely right down to where they mount right there. And I just dressed them in along there, making sure that they don't go on any part that moves. That wouldn't be good. So everything should be good there. And now we just have to do the electrical portion. We're going to do we have to do the knob right there, and then the electrical. You're going to see two coils coming off the valve body. One just has a red wire, that's for your power, and then the other one has green, yellow, and blue. And I just ran that along with the hydraulic lines underneath, and I'm coming up right here, right along the valve body, and I'm going to tie wrap it to the handle, to this. And right now I'm going to put the other valve on. Well, first I'm going to run my wire, tie wrap it in, get it all dressed in, and then we'll do that part. All right, you see I've got the wire dressed in here. It's coming up, it runs with the hydraulic cables underneath from the front. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take our old handle off, a Kioti handle, and we have our new WR long handle. Okay, so it comes with this little switch. Now we're going to put that in there, like so. That's our little toggle switch. That's what's going to control open and close the grapple. Now we want to cut this to length. I don't want too much slack. So this is going to sit on here like this. That's going to run up there to the switch. I can pull that cable through. I want to make sure to have enough to be able to get this on and off. So the cable's going to go like that. I'm going to pull a little more through like that. Back down. There, that should be good like that. We'll run the extra down there. So now I'm not going to take too much off here. Probably only a few inches. And we're going to go ahead and strip some of this jacket back. There we go. Now we have yellow, blue, and green. We're going to strip a little bit off there. Get these little spade connectors here. Came with it. We'll go ahead and put them on. If you don't know, your strippers here are going to be color coded, red, blue, and yellow. So you put a red connector in there. Make sure to get the crimper in where the metal is. And you take your wire, you put it in. Make sure you've got it nice and twisted. Put it in there. So the wire goes in the metal tube and the insulation goes up against it. You want to see the wire coming out the end there. And there you go. Just crimp that down. And there you go. That's it. Now the instructions say... Whoops, can you still see me? All right. The instructions say you want green on the top, yellow in the middle, and blue on the bottom. So let's go the other way. We want, what is it? Green on the top. There's our green on the top right there. Okay. Green on the top, yellow in the middle, and blue on the bottom. Right there, on the bottom. There. So we have it like that. Now we're going to go ahead and put this on here. I guess we can put it together first. Put our wires in there. Get them tucked in. We got some extra in case we need it. We'll go ahead and put that cover on. And it came with some screws. That one's going to go there. Oh, I see the smaller ones. At least one of them. This one's an Allen key. We'll screw that one in. Get so far. All right. Now, you can do this multiple ways, I guess. You know, going to depend on how you want it. That's probably a good place for it right there, huh? Yeah, oh, that's what that screw's for. It keeps it from going too far. I like that. So I'm going to put it right here so that these are facing forward. That way when my hand's on there, I can be opening and closing like that. You get these two Allens here. You just tighten them up. There we go. There's that portion. Now the only thing we have left is the power. So let's find a power port for it. We are now all wired up. We have it wired up to the battery for now. And if you come in, you can actually, let me get in the microphone, you can hear it. as I move the switch, you can hear it. So it's working. We won't know the hydraulics till with the grapple comes in. So that's it. It's in, it's ready to go. It really wasn't that bad. All right, so this is the WLR long third function valve kit. I like the way the valve mounts right there. There's the original connections for the front end loader, and that's where the valve mounts right there. It's not in the way. The reason I went with WLR long and not Kioti is because the Kioti valve mounts underneath there and hangs down like another foot. I'm in the woods all the time with this thing, and I just didn't like the way that hung down. So I went with the WR long, which is up and out of the way. The hoses are out of the way, the valve's out of the way. Once again, I just did not like the way that thing hung down. Granted, it was in a nice stout metal box, but I would have bent it. I know it because this thing is in the woods all the time. So that's it, folks. That is our WR long third function valve kit. So I hope you liked this video. I hope I did a good enough job showing you how to do this. It's the first time I've done it, so I learned with you. How's that? So once again, like all our videos, if you like it, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, tell your friends and neighbors, and as always from the mountain folks, God bless.